Or I don't know, well over 100. I use my iPad. It's just like click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Non-stop. I have to go through and just sort out which ones I want, and then I upload them to my cloud, and it's a bit complicated. Then they come back down, and then I list on eBay. I'm going to have a busy day today, very busy.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're live. Let me just check, see if I can see this going out. Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon now. We've hit 12 o'clock. Let's see if this is appearing on the page. And then I'm going to share it into the group. 1 second. Let's see. Yep, here we are. I can see we're live. Let me just share this into our group so that everybody in the group can see that we are having a chat now. Okay. Hopefully that's worked. Let me just double check. Oh, I love technology. You never know what's going on. Come on.
It come up a notification that you are.
Oh, there we are. Yep, we're in there. Okay, so welcome, Sylvia. Yay!
Oh, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. So Sylvia has joined me today to talk about how she studies Japanese, because I think it's very important for everybody to look at all the different ways that you can study, all the different ways that you can incorporate and inject Japanese into your life. Some of us are better at studying than others. I'm not good at studying. I prefer to just speak Japanese and pick things up in conversation. Sylvia, on the other hand, is extremely good at using lots of different strategies for learning an extreme amount of kanji. So, Sylvia, first of all, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the background and why you started Japanese?
Right, I'm Sylvia. Hello, everyone. I started learning Japanese in 2002, which is quite a long time ago now. My reasons for learning were to do with my work, strangely enough. For a living, I sell Japanese Pokemon cards online. And when I first began buying Pokemon cards was around about 2000. And at that time, I took an interest in Japanese cards. And then I took an interest in Japanese language. And gradually, over the years, I've sort of learnt a bit. There's been periods when I've not been actively studying very much during since 2002, which was about 17 or 16 years. But yeah, I sell Pokemon cards. I contact people in Japan via email, and I talk to people in Japan via email quite a bit. I don't have much speech experience, so I'm working on that quite hard now. So there we go.
Great. And what do you do every day to help you improve your Japanese?
Well, I start off the day with the radio. I wake up to Japanese radio. I found my favourite station, which I'm not going to plug on here because everybody will find their own favourite station. But so that goes off, and I kind of wake up listening to that. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's talking. The other morning it was football, actually. It was a live football game on there, some local side or something, which is quite entertaining. So that's quite different. I leave it on. I tend to leave it on around about an hour, but it depends if I'm going out. I don't obviously always leave it on. But it's on my phone, so I kind of like take it with me and, just try and soak it in a little bit. I don't understand very much of it, but it's quite fun. So that's how I start my day. After that, it kind of depends on what my schedule is as to what I do. 2 days a week to support my business, I go and I work in a shop, a betting shop in Great Yarmouth, which is about 40 minutes on the bus. So when I'm on the bus, I will practice my kanji on Wanakani, is it, I think? Um, and I sort of tap away on the bus. If I'm going to work really early in the morning, sometimes my brain just can't cope. I don't do it, but as mostly I do it, and it sort of passes the time away on the journey, and there we go. If I'm working at home, then obviously I have different routine, and I can't do that. And then Wanakani kind of fits in when I've got time, maybe not every day. It's not always easy to fit in that kind of study time because it requires all my attention. Um, when I'm at home, I listen to Japanese music also, CDs and that sort of thing. And I'm on Amazon Prime, and there's quite a lot of Japanese music you can access via Amazon Prime, which is quite good for free. So, well, it's not free because I pay for the Prime, but basically it's an add-on. So I don't listen to it all the time. Don't think that that's constant. I mean, sometimes I listen to English music also. But as for sit down study, that's occasional, not every day. But I do my diary. I like to write my diary. I try to do it in the evening if I can, if I'm not too tired and I've got the time. But sometimes it sort of slips back and I have to do it next day or the following day or whatever. But I keep up with it. So there's an entry for every day, even if it's short.
Can you tell us
So
how you do the diary?
yes, I don't sit and just write on a sheet of paper because I would make far too many mistakes. So that's far too complicated for me to do that. So I use my iPad and I type in my Japanese in my iPad, and then I normally sort of kind of trying to check the grammar if I can on using like Translate or using Joshi or dictionary, even physical dictionaries, just to check. Some of the idioms in Japanese are slightly different. They will say things using a different format of words that we would use. It's complicated to explain, but so I get it as good as I think I can, and then I will copy it into my diary. If I write in, I write it all out in hiragana, katakana, and then I write it out with the kanji. If I can manage the kanji, there has been times I've left the kanji and I've just put the kana in again because it's just really too hard. If I can't,
Why do you do it in the hiragana and katakana first?
why?
Mm.
Why? So that I can read it. If
Mm-hmm.
if if I don't write it, if I just write all the kanji, I can't read it later
Mm-hmm.
because it's my writing is probably quite bad to start with, but it's not only that. The kanji is quite complex, and I don't know them all off by heart. I know the easy ones,
Mm-hmm.
and but the more difficult ones I don't know off by heart, and I wouldn't be able to read it back. Whereas if I've got
Mm-hmm.
the katakana and hiragana there, I can read it back and I can look up to see what the reading is for that kanji, and then re-look it up if I want to. I'm also very lucky because I have a friend in Japan who corrects it all for me.
Mm-hmm.
So she's running a bit behind me because I send her 5 days at a time. And she corrects them for me, and then I write in the corrections. So that obviously I'm not doing that every day, or the correcting anyway. I'm not doing that every day. That's a
Mm-hmm.
kind of when I've got time, I do it, and then when I've done them, if I've got questions, I ask her questions and such like. And if and then when we're happy, we move on to the next 5 pages. But she's way behind.
Yay!
She's in January still. But it doesn't
Oh,
matter because it doesn't really matter because I'm continuing to do it, and it's a useful thing for learning for me.
yep.
I've been doing it since last July,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm capable of writing some of the kanji out without looking.
Mm-hmm.
The easier kanji, the ones I'm writing a lot regularly, I'm starting to be able to write them without looking, which is great. So I'll write the kana down, and then I will try to write out with the kanji without looking at the kanji, and then when I get
Mm-hmm.
stuck, I will look at that kanji. That's what I've started to do. So we've got something simple like iku, to go. The kanji for that's very
Mm-hmm.
easy to write, so I don't need to look that up. I don't need to look at that. I can just write that. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm capable of writing without looking, I will do it. But if I have to look, I look. So
Yeah,
well, there we go.
that's
That's
fair enough.
basically my daily routine. I don't have any set study times in my day because
Mm-hmm.
I'm too busy, basically, with work and then with house things. So it's quite difficult to have sit down study sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I do sometimes,
And
but it's difficult.
what do you think's made the biggest um, impact on your learning? What do you do that really helps you, do you think?
Um, it depends what area of learning you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the writing, the diary's been massive, absolutely massive. I do I do have books where I just practice my kanjis and the stroke orders and that sort of thing, which I do occasionally. It sounds like I'm
Mm-hmm.
studying all the time, but I'm really not. Because it sounds like there's so many things, but I have lots of different interests in Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I float from one interest to another because sometimes you get kind of in a rut and you get bored and you get fed up with doing the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. So you move on to something else. At the moment, I'm working with a friend and we're translating a song, and different friend this is, and we're translating a song. And
Mm-hmm.
I send her my translation. She sends back the bits that she thinks aren't quite right, and I'll be sending her back how I interpret what she's saying. And then between
Yeah.
us, hopefully, we'll be able to come up with a translation. So things like that. I talk on Hello Talk. When I've got time, I go in there and I chat to people. I love to go in there. I just don't have enough time to spend hours
Mm-hmm.
in there. I'd love to. Um, so I enjoy that, and some people send me voice messages and that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the biggest impact for writing would be the diary. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest impact for talking would be your group, definitely, massively. Attending conversation clubs, and it's great, absolutely great. Because near me there is no Japanese people. I've met one lady in Norwich who I go to see
Mm-hmm.
every now and again, which is lovely. But it's great to be able to go in there like 2 or 3 times a week whenever I can fit it in, and be able to chat to people. Because I just don't have that opportunity, and I don't have the confidence to do it very well because I don't do it enough. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm plugging your group now, but it's not hard to, because it is really really good. So speaking, get in there, get in there, and join the group and come and talk, because
Did you
it's
find it
great.
scary?
Yes, absolutely terrifying, and I still do. I'm not as bad as I was. I'm not quite as nervous as I was. I can feel it easing off just slightly. But I've been going for a long while now, and I shouldn't really feel like that, but I still do. It's just kind of brain fog. It just all goes as soon as I open my mouth. It's an absolute disaster. Um, and it's difficult when I've got confidence in writing. I can write to a Japanese person with utmost confidence that they're going to understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. But when I talk, it's just really bad. So it's getting better slowly.
You're
So
getting you're getting so much better. I mean, your listening's improved immensely, and your speaking, yeah, you've definitely gained confidence. since
Yeah,
you
it's
first
slow.
started?
I would say to
It takes as
everybody
long as
that,
it takes.
yeah, that you can't. I see a lot of people on Hello Talk, Japanese people, and they say, "Oh, I want to talk English like Nishikori, the tennis player, and this sort of thing." And they want to do it overnight, and that is not real. That does not happen. You it takes practice and practice and practice and practice. You can't just like suddenly be able to talk Japanese. And I have been through the mill on, I don't know how many courses I've done to try and help me talk. You know, those CD
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
I have done loads and loads and loads with very little improvement, because
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of all one way. Repeating a sentence and saying a sentence is not, it's not conversation. It's just
Yeah.
like, you know, no good. So it's okay if you're going on holiday to do that kind of thing, but if you really
Mm-hmm.
want to learn and be able to talk with people, you've got to like, you got to work at it. And
Yeah.
it's not just gonna like snap, suddenly I can talk Japanese. And I think that's what I've realized. I think I've been thinking, well, you know, eventually if I keep on going, I'll be able to do it. But you really, you don't make any improvement at all if you don't put yourself in the position to do it. And that is the hardest thing to do, because it is terrifying.
Yeah.
For everybody, I see on your little poll that most people don't join the group, a conversation group, because they lack confidence. And that is the whole point. You're gonna lack confidence until you do it. And I'm doing it, and I still lack confidence, loads of confidence. It's very scary for me. But if you don't push it and you don't do it, then you will never do it. Basically, I know it sounds a bit negative, but it's the same with writing and reading. If you don't keep on learning the kanji and keep on pushing yourself to do it and do it and do it, then you'll just brush over it. You'll learn bits, but you'll never
Mm-hmm.
learn enough to sort of do it. So, am I rambling on too much?
No, that's wonderful. I'd just like to say thank you. We've
Yeah,
Anna's
no
been
problem.
watching, and I've posted a couple of Anna's comments up here. She says, "I totally relate to that brain fog thing you feel." So she's had that as well.
Yeah,
And Aaron Mohammed has said some lovely things here. He's been
yeah.
saying, he's asking what we were talking about, and I tapped in and told him, and then he says that he likes both of us. So that was really sweet.
That is sweet.
And
Thank
he's
you.
going to watch a bit later. So
Yeah,
thank you very much, Sylvia. I think that's
yeah, no problem.
all the time we've got now, but thank you very
Yeah,
much. And just to let everybody know who's watching, we are going to be speaking to Yoshi Sensei tomorrow. He is coming on at 5 o'clock to talk to us from a teacher's perspective. He's one of our senseis in the group. So I'd like to say thank you once again
okay,
to
no
Sylvia for
problem.
joining me. And I'll see you in the group, and we have Conversation Club. So I'll see you tomorrow night for that if you're available.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Okay.
Matane.
Matane.